everybody. Welcome to the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference Facebook Live series. My name is Brianna Smith, and I am the Executive Director of the conference. I'm really excited to join you guys again today to talk about some of the hot topics in digital marketing and give you guys a sneak peek at the MDMC 20 speaker lineup and what you can expect at the Now Virtual Summit. If you haven't joined us before, so we're just going to be chatting about some hot topics in digital marketing with one of our fabulous speakers at the conference. And if at any point you guys have questions, throw them in the comments. We love questions. And to make this as interactive as possible, or throw them in later if you're watching this after we're live, and we will answer them. So today I'm really excited, guys. I have an awesome guest speaker. And her name is Valerie Jennings. She's an early adopter of social media since 2005. She's the founder of Jennings Social Media and MarTech, which she founded in 2003 at the age of 24, which is so awesome. She founded a second creative agency, Viral Bolt Media, in 2012. She's a business leader, entrepreneur, and influencer, and she has positioned her agencies for rapid growth and early adoption of marketing technology. And she is going to be on the Running a Successful Marketing Agency panel, which will be on demand as part of the MDMC On Demand Digital Experience. So, hello, Valerie.
Hi, thanks for having me, Brianna. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to be talking to you today. I am, as always, here just outside of St. Louis at home. Where are you joining us from?
Overland Park, Kansas.
Oh, so not too far. We're both
Yeah.
Midwest girls.
Yes,
So,
and I'm in Rome too.
well, we'd love to know where you guys are joining us. I see a bunch of people watching right now. So tell us where you're joining us. Maybe you're also here in St. Louis, or maybe you're in Kansas, or maybe you're on the other side of the world. We would love to know. All right. Valerie, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and the amazing things that you've done?
Sure. Well, like you said, I started my business when I was 24. Now we're heading into 17 years of business at the agency. It's been a long journey, but it's been very rewarding and enlightening. Um, we pride ourselves on the early adoption of technology, specifically marketing, and are constantly studying the latest trends and testing tools internally and running new programs. And that is probably the most exciting part of what I get to do, besides helping clients with their digital strategy. We are an early adopter agency of social media. The company was founded in '03, but we started adopting social media in 2005. At that point, a lot of clients didn't know what its potential was. And we were working primarily in public relations. So what we did is adopt some social media tactics, including YouTube videos, content, how that fits in with SEO, online press releases to drive traffic, and set up metrics to look for conversions for websites, either registrations or people who are creating accounts. So this was pretty early on. It was such an exciting and fun time. And we fast forward to today, there's, last time I checked, over 7,000 MarTech tools and platforms in the marketplace. And that can be overwhelming, but also very interesting time for us to be testing all of this with artificial intelligence advertising tools and machine learning, more automation. And then we kind of take for granted some of the day-to-day MarTech tools that we already use, such as things to automate social media post scheduling. So I pride myself on being kind of a data nerd. I love anything with analytics and trends. At the end of last year, I picked up a certification called AI for anyone, and it was an open moot course that I took, and the content was developed by Dr. Ang, who's an adjunct professor out of Stanford University, and he also worked with Google in setting up their AI department. So always looking at how this new technology can shape and change our business and disrupt it. But our end goal as a performance-driven agency is to grow our clients' business opportunities. And so that's really how we filter a lot of this new tech and interesting platforms that are on the horizon.
Awesome. Well, I'm already very interested in this AI course. Just off the top of my head, I'm like, oh, it sounds so interesting. I should do that. And you're right. The amount of marketing technology out there is almost at some points overwhelming because there's
It
just,
is.
what do you choose? What is the best one for you? Uh, awesome. Well, I see we have a bunch of people joining. Thank you, Nina, Barbara, and Amy, for all near the St. Louis area for letting us know where you're joining us from. If you guys want to let us know, we'd love to know. But you can also throw questions in at any time. We're going to dive into some of my questions, but I am sure that Valerie would love to hear from your questions as well. All right. So my first question is going to be very topical for today, for what we're all going through. But in your opinion, what are companies doing to pivot their messaging during this COVID-19 crisis?
Well, when everybody kind of first got the news, first it was social distancing, and then it was kind of we all need to be working from home and more or less in lockdown, so to speak. And I noticed immediately all of our clients responded, were in touch. We basically threw away a lot of the existing content and campaigns, but there were still a lot of questions about what do we post in different philosophies, from I don't really want to talk about this all the way to how do we make our content more interesting, to how people are living right now. And so that's really where we focused, is how do we relate what our clients do to how people's behaviors have changed. And so introducing new campaigns with pets, with computers, because we have an animal health client. We have another client in the utility industry. So it was like recipes, games, kind of things to do with your kids while you're homeschooling, and also reminding people that we're there for them. I think the best thing all these brands can continue to do is let their online communities know they are there for them. It's not a great time to be doing any hard sales, but it's a wonderful time to be networking with people. And people are available, they're online, they're participating and loads of webinars, and there's a lot more opportunities we're seeing with C-suite engaging and trying to understand data and analytics. So definitely a more captive audience, and people are also realizing, like, if they didn't have a top of the funnel, then
they need one.
Who do I talk to besides my clients? And so that's also a lot of the recommendations are get some good, timely, downloadable materials out there and offer free resources to people, jump on webinars, give away some of your strategic insights, and be a leader and an innovator during this time. So I would say, like, we've kind of guided our clients in that direction based on the research I've seen, with website traffic being down, some of the Google Ads conversions being down. There's still other things that we can do, and I feel like what I've seen, especially on LinkedIn, has been really fairly appropriate and topical, and people continue to just, we're all in it together. And I think that's the right mentality, especially in the business community.
I definitely agree. I mean, being a resource, still being sensitive, I haven't really seen any yet that have been really insensitive, or anything like that. But because I think everybody's doing a pretty good job of being like, okay, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate right now.
Yeah. I think the issue a lot of businesses were struggling with is, how do I continue to stay in front of my prospects without selling? I have seen an increase in cold calling and email outreach.
Oh my, me too. My
But I
phone
do
has been ringing off the hook lately.
yeah, and I think you just have to be careful with that because it
Mhm,
frustrates people because they're like, "Listen, I'm just trying to manage what I've got
mhm,
on my plate right now, and that's too much for me to be thinking about if I
yeah,
should have cable phone service or not."
yeah, that's not my top concern at the moment.
Well, like we have a managed services client, and so we've been pushing out real short, abbreviated emails about the latest malware attacks
Mhm,
related to COVID. So again, things that are helpful, and we're not trying to sell. We're just saying
yeah,
we want you to be aware and educated, and then obviously, if somebody's having an issue, they'll follow up. But
yeah.
it's taking more or less that type of approach.
Yeah, being that resource, I think that's always where I go, because when you're that resource and you're that expert, they're gonna lean on you, moving forward. They're not, you were there for them when they needed you, um,
Yes,
and vice versa.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So what can like other agencies be doing to bootstrap and scale growth
Yeah.
during this time, in addition to kind of being a resource like you talked about?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And, I thought about when I started the agency when I was 24 and had no resources. What did I do then? And then, we made it through the last recession too. And I always go to you have to have a fantastic CPA or some sort of financial advisor.
Mhm,
And if you have that person and they're a great resource or your bank is a great resource, right now you need to strengthen those ties. And then the other part of this is look at all of your subscriptions because those things start to compound and add
yeah,
up, right? And the next thing you know, you're like, what's this? When did I sign up for this? Oh, maybe I signed up for the free version. So a lot of those
yeah, and then, oh,
yeah, so it's a good time to audit anything that you've just been paying for on your credit card. And a lot of companies do this already, but really to
Mhm,
think about what resources are important to you. And then really staying in touch with the SBA organizations to see, I know the funding ran out.
mhm,
It sounds like there might be more coming.
yeah,
I don't know all the details there, but so those things are really important. But I also think about morale on the team, and we talk about bootstrapping. We have to consolidate resources, and sometimes people might have to lay people off.
mhm,
You're asking other people to do less with more, and that's really hard. And then on top of it, we're remote, right?
yeah,
So it's making sure that you're staying in touch with your team. And I know our team has continued with their happy hour traditions on Fridays, which I think
love
is
that.
yeah. And we try to do a Zoom call, and I know they do a Zoom call every day, and then I'll, might jump in a couple of times a week. So all of these things are fit into kind of that just being scrappy and, work using less resources. So I think all of those are really good recommendations, things that companies can be doing, but everybody's just going to have to audit their budgets and
Mhm,
continue to talk to their teams and say, do you have too much? Is there someone else in the team that can pick this up and get
yeah,
creative with how we lean on each other during this time? And
yeah,
hopefully, light is at the end of the tunnel
mhm,
because I
yeah.
think we all want to go back to some sort of normal.
Just a little, I just want a little bit. I don't need it all right now, but
Yeah, even just some
just
hope.
something.
Yeah,
But but yeah, I mean, I think, it is a time. I think it's a unique opportunity actually to be creative, because you have to just think ridiculously far outside the box of your normal reality, and it kind of forces you to be creative versus sometimes it's like hard to see things in a different perspective versus now we all have a different perspective.
we do.
So I think it's, if we have to make lemonade out of lemons, let's try to
Yeah.
be really creative during that process. All right, so we got a great question from Nina. Tell us about the MarTech conference, which I believe starts today. Is today the
Mhm.
21st? I don't even know anymore. Um,
There's my first yes and no.
I don't know anymore. I just keep going with it. So is this free to the public? And I obviously you're gonna be covering, secrets of a successful agency during MDMC. So what is, going to be covered during the MarTech conference? Because like you said, we're all about the education. Just
Yeah.
everybody focus on education.
Yeah. So what's being covered during our panel? Is that the question?
It says about the MarTech conference, April 21st to 23rd. I don't know about that.
I don't either.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Nina. So I'll have to learn more about that if you share information. I actually didn't know about the MarTech conference. But we will talk about what Valerie's going to
Yeah.
cover during the panel. All right. I have one more question before we take
Mhm.
a quick break. But what other takeaways would you like to share with agency owners about how to focus their digital marketing efforts in general?
Yeah. Well, I think that the biggest thing is kind of where we started at the beginning of this conversation. We're overwhelmed with a lot of MarTech tools.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a couple of ways that we evaluate technology. One is, how is this going to help our clients? So we're in the performance driven space. And so how are these tools going to actually amplify lead generation or new
Mm-hmm.
contacts? And then the second part of it is, will it help save time, money, resources with our team? So if it's an automated
Mm-hmm.
tool, for example, like reporting, then we would look at something like that. Lately, we've been evaluating new tools that look at analyzing trending headlines for blog posts and how the SEO, Google algorithms fit into blogs. So
Mm-hmm.
we always kind of start with, what is our challenge? What's our resource limitation? Or where do we want to improve? And then we go out and do an audit across the tools. And I think for any agency that wants to scale, especially now when we're talking
Yes.
about, we have some restricted resources, continuing to evaluate all these tools is super important. But having a really clear objective and focus with the tools and what they're going to do, and then ask your maybe one or two people on your team to try them out and give feedback first before you adopt them. Because certainly, we'll have high expectations for a tool, and then we use it, we're like, well, that didn't work. So
Yep.
we'll find something else. And so that's kind of the benefit of that. There are so many available. It's just kind of, picking through them. But the other thing, with respect to scaling and just adopting stuff, there's always this challenge with scope creep with clients. And I think all agencies kind of struggle with that, and clients
Mm-hmm.
into that shiny new object, or somebody's like, oh, have you tried this, or have you done this? And so we really try to recommend, have one idea or creative recommendation or tactic, or something that we've tested that we can at least educate the client on each call.
Yeah.
And so even if they don't want to do it, but we keep that education process, because it's, we've had clients for 10 years or more, and it's like, you have to keep that newness going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And remember when you first start working with a client, it's like, here's all my new ideas for you. And they're like, great. And so you have to keep that relationship
Mm-hmm.
going and keep that excitement going, and let them know that you are trying to, mature their marketing as you grow with them.
Yeah.
And so I think keeping those two things in mind is really important right now. Always important, but really important right now.
Yeah. Awesome. Some great advice. I hope you guys take to heart. And I just want to give a shout out. Thank you, Christina, for joining us from Springfield, Illinois, watching. Hey, Christina. All right, so we're going to take a teeny tiny little break. I want to show you a quick message from our title sponsor, Agora, who has been fantastic in helping us convert this to a virtual summit. So we'll take a quick look, and then we'll get some sneak peek insights into the panel during the conference.
Which employees of mine answers in what amount of time. And also I can create reportings so that clients always are in the know and understand what is happening and what has happened over the past 30 days, past month. I think the biggest value for me and my team is that I can use it with my team, and we're all on the same page and know what's going on inside of the system as we use it.
All right, so just a quick message from Agora Pulse, who is our title sponsor this year. All right, so as you guys know, and I'm sure you see below, this is for the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, which is now two parts. We have the free virtual summit, which is on May 20th and 21st, where we have 7 speakers on each day, I believe is where we're at right now. And that's free to the public. Anyone can attend and they'll do those sessions. And then we have our on-demand digital experience, which is $99, but you get around 80 sessions on demand for up to a year, as well as some really cool networking opportunities and things like that. If you already had your ticket to MDMC 20, which would have happened a couple weeks ago, you already get access to both of these. So I hope you guys can join us for either the virtual or both. But this panel session that Valerie is on is going to be part of our on-demand experience. And it is called the realities of running a successful marketing agency. So I was curious if you can give us, our watchers, a little sneak peek at kind of what you guys are going to be discussing during the panel.
Yeah, of course. We had a fantastic conversation. We did our recording last week, actually.
Oh, can't wait to see it.
Yes, it was awesome. And we definitely focus quite a bit on COVID and just the restrictions that are and challenges that we're facing with COVID. But the fact is that all the regular challenges that we have running an agency are just amplified by COVID, and then we have some new issues that we're trying to respond to as well. So we did we talk about scaling. We talked about products and resources that we use at our agency. We touched a little bit on team morale, and each panelist also kind of touched on what is successful at their agency, what are they doing to innovate, and what kind of processes do they have with their clients. I thought all the panelists did an exceptional job talking about, listen, we tried this process, we might have our CFO sit in on the final contract signing so that all the client knows one last time what the expectations and the scope are. And so I felt like all of them did a great job being super transparent, giving great advice. And it was such a great lineup too of just a diverse group of people and companies and how they're handling their approaches. Everybody kind of has their own niche that they focus. So I feel like there's something for everybody on that particular panel. Whether it's you're an agency or you're inside a company or you focus on a certain market with respect to content creation. I again really focused on everything that could be affecting us with COVID, but at the end of the day, we're always going to have some of those challenges. It's just they're a lot more amplified right now. But yeah, good stuff. And lots to just kind of tactics and takeaways too that people could pick up on there. So
awesome. Well, I can't wait to watch it myself. We should be getting it soon. And you guys, this might be one that applies to you. Now, if they get access to the on-demand digital experience, they get all the sessions, but that can kind of be overwhelming to figure out which are the ones that you want to watch. How do they know if this is one of the right sessions that they should add to their watch list if they don't watch every single one?
So, this is definitely for somebody that's interested in being an entrepreneur, has an established agency. And it's also maybe good for somebody that's struggling with balancing some of the COVID challenges or looking to pick up some fresh advice, because each of us, I definitely felt, brought a different perspective to the table. And again, really great advice on how to handle some operations challenges with clients and in introducing innovation or new products and services, or just managing the overall expectations of account management. So I think that if you're just starting out, the conversation maybe was a little bit more advanced. If you're looking for some quick takeaways on how to start up an agency, I don't think that this is the right panel for you. But if you've already gotten pretty far with a business plan, or you have an agency that you've had operational or for just a few years, or one that you've had for decades, I think that there's a lot of relevant and timely content in this discussion, and it would be good for that audience.
Awesome, fantastic. So if you guys feel like you fall in that category, this may be one that you want to add to the top of your watch list when you get access to all of the sessions. Speaking of all of the sessions, again, are there any sessions in particular you're interested or excited about watching once they're all released?
Yeah, I'm always looking for the latest in the tech and anything with automation. We've done a lot with CRM integration and automation. So I will be paying attention to anything on email nurturing or automation with the CRMs and nurturing the top of the funnel. So all the speakers look super amazing, and they all bring a unique expertise. So it's hard to just pick one, but we would definitely be filtering for those types of tactics right now.
Awesome. Yep, we try to, definitely diverse. Everybody has great insights to share from all different walks of life and industries and career levels. So hopefully there's something for all of you guys to find at the conference. So I'll wrap up. But if you guys have any questions, throw them in the comments right now. Otherwise, if you're watching this later, I know we get a lot of people watch after we go live. Throw your comments in the questions, or your questions in the comments, and we will answer them. It's getting there in this this stay at home. We're starting to get a little loopy. Um, but but I hope you guys can join us for the free summit on May 20th and 21st, and then also for the on-demand digital experience. Which will give you access to all of the sessions and these great panels where you're going to get a lot of different insights from a lot of different companies and great speakers. All right. Well, it looks like that's all we have for today. But join me again next Tuesday for another great MDMC Facebook Live episode. Thank you so much, Valerie, for joining me today. It was so great to talk to you about all of this.
Yeah.
Great advice on how we can make it through this time right now as a business.
Thank you, Brianna, and thanks to everybody at the conference. I know you guys have been working really hard to pull this off.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.